JaredPolin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. I am here with Brandon. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there, and I figured it was time to do some rapid-fire critiques. I guess they're AdoramaPix Rapid Fire Critiques, whatever we call them these days. But this time have the photographer on the line because it's sometimes more fun to hear what they have to say as well as give some feedback. So give me a little feedback. What are we going to be looking at in these next 13 images?
A whole lot of sports pictures. I got involved with the paper up at school, and that's what I like to do. And I think I've improved a lot since I started doing that. So that's what these are.
I'm assuming you go to Purdue, not Ohio State.
Yes, Purdue.
All right. So when you got into photography, how did you decide to get involved with the school paper?
I just got involved with got involved with photography about a year ago. Went up to Purdue for my freshman year in August, and I was interested in photography, so I thought, why not be a photographer? And then just sort of got involved with that.
Do they have gear for you up there?
They do here. I do have my own gear though as well, but they have a very nice selection of Nikon stuff for us to use.
See, that's awesome. I mean, I've always said this, that if I went to a 4-year school, it would have been deadly. It would have been amazing because you have so many opportunities. These are they're pretty much professional athletes that you're surrounded by all the time, and you have access to them. They're your peers, and you got great equipment to use. And I don't know, did you get to travel with the teams at all?
I have not gotten to travel with the teams yet, but we do send photographers to away games.
So as you become, like not a freshman anymore,
yeah, exactly.
You then move up in the ranks, and by your 4th year, senior year, you're probably able to travel with the team?
Yeah.
See, that's awesome. And everybody out there, just listen to that. You can go and do anything, especially in college. You can go and ask to be a part of, travel with the teams. And this is what I used to do. I used to just walk up to like hockey teams and be like, hey, I just want to hang out and shoot pictures, and that's what I would do. And going to a college, you've got access to art. You have access to sports. You have access to music. And if you're into, we lost the connection. Hold on here. Yeah, so if you're, anywhere in school, in college, out of college, around a sports team, around art or things like that, just ask. Go to the people that can make the decisions and just say, listen, I'm into photography. This is what I do. Here is what I can do for you. I just want to get in and do this. This gives you access to everything. It's like you have access to the athletes, right?
Yeah.
Have you made friends with a bunch of them?
Not really. I mean, we don't get much personal access to them, but during games and stuff, I mean, we're right there with them. So.
Oh, yeah, not during games, but maybe after you just walk up as somebody's leaving and you just walk somewhere. I mean,
yeah, definitely you can do that.
Yeah, you just talk and go, hey, yeah, I got some nice shots of you this week. Would you like me to send them to you? And then that way they start to give you an inside look. You start hanging out. You start getting photos of them. And then, you know what? When some of these guys become pros, then you may be doing stuff with them. So it's a jumping off point, and it's just so awesome to go to a 4-year school and have access to just all of this stuff going on. So let's get right into the photos. What are you shooting this with?
This is the D2H and a 120-300 Sigma.
D2H, wow.
Yeah.
So my critique right off the bat is what do you think I'm going to say about this?
The one thing I hate about this photo is that I cut off his foot in the lower frame.
You cut off his foot. Is that because it was at 120 and you didn't have any more reach?
That was as close as that would zoom out, and just kind of what I was stuck with at that moment. But.
All right. Yeah, and let me ask you your mentality when shooting sports. Are you a cropper or are you not a cropper?
It depends on the shot. With basketball, I tend to crop a bit more than other things, but I didn't crop this photo at all. Yeah,
I find with sports, I got into the habit of not cropping. I mean, I didn't know any better, and I was shooting film, and I thought that as a photographer, you were supposed to try to fill the frame as much as possible, and then I started to realize that all the Sports Illustrated guys do is they shoot loose, and they crop the crap out of things, and yeah. I'm not particularly a big fan of that, especially when you look at some of the photos of the year that Sports Illustrated put out this year, and you go through and you're like, damn, look at the grain in the face. How far are they cropping this, Yeah, so basically with this, something like this, I guess you just have to be prepared as they're running towards you to try to get the full frame in there. I mean, I love the background. You like how you got the ref back there. You got the Ohio State players that are just obviously stopped, and this guy's running into the end zone, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I don't know how a vertical would have played out. That would have given you more room, but obviously I know how quick this action happens, and it makes it tough to well, tough to capture. So let's move on, and I'll start asking some more questions about some settings. So we got a basketball player lining up for a free throw. What do you think?
I don't know. It's just one of those kind of shots where I just snapped it, and I liked it in black and white. Just kind of looks powerful to me. I don't know.
D2H again?
Yes.
Oh, geez. All right. So you're probably about, with looking at this, you're at like 800 ISO, right?
I think that's about 1250 or something.
Yeah, all right. That's where that thing topped out. I never pushed that thing over 1250 back in the day. But you know what? I thought it handled things very well back in 2004. You could really crank through shots, and at 1250, you knew it was going black and white. But, it's a little tough the way that it's cut again. You cut off the hands, you cut off the ball a little bit, because you can see a little bit of is that his finger on the bottom?
Yeah.
Near the ball? Yeah, something like this. What lens were you using?
This would be 80 to 200.
80 to 200, so it's a 100 to 300 on that camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, was this shot at 80? Probably
so.
Not, right?
Actually, I'm not quite certain. I can't remember.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, especially if you're sitting at the baseline. This probably isn't at 80. I mean, I would try to leave more room. I'd go vertical, try to blow out the background, but fill the frame. It's just the way that it's cut, the way that you're cutting off the arms and the wrists and the fingers. If it went vertical and then you got more of a look of what he was looking at, you got some of the floor in there. That's just one idea for a shot, especially if he's got two shots. Try one where you do it a little looser and then fill in a little tighter as you go through and just go from there. In terms of processing, I think the processing's fine. There's not much else you can do with the D2H at 1250, but I think that the highlights on the face are fine. The jersey is bouncing light back into the face, so I think that works out pretty well.
Okay.
All right, what do we got here?
This is, I can't remember which player this is, but he's going for dunk. The one thing I don't like about this image is that you cannot see his face, but that's just where I was positioned, where he's coming from.
You know what you see a lot of times at basketball games? You see the remote cameras being put up on the backboards. You see them down on the, I don't know, that whatever the stanchion is that raises up. I'm not a huge fan of that stuff. It just, sports photography, is that where you want to go, or do you want to take it in a different direction, your photography?
That's what I like to do. That's what I'm looking into getting into, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked at all of Sports Illustrated's photos of the year, and I bring that up again, and I sit there and I go, God, it's just not creative. I don't know what you can do to be more creative when shooting sports other than telling the behind-the-scenes stories or looking for different things that other people just aren't seeing, because it seems like peak action shots is something that a lot of people can do. I mean, you can capture the moment, which is fine, and I'm not knocking you in any way. I'm just, in general, looking at sports photography as one of those things where you kind of shoot the action going on, and a lot of these guys shoot loose and crop later, and it just seems to, I don't know, lack the creativity, because you can get really creative with sports photography. You could do a whole photo thing of the game where you just focus in on feet, on all the shoes, and you focus in on the ancillary things, not the action as much, but things that are going on with the feet and the hands and the hand checks that are going on and things like that in basketball. This image, in terms of processing, it's the color. The color's throwing me off a little bit. It's a little too on the cyan side.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, what I learned with shooting basketball is a wider zoom is probably better, like a 17 to 55 or a 17 to 50. If you've got one of those and you're sitting under the basket, what I like to do is, if you've got two cameras, you sit there with a 17 to 50 on one, and you sit there with an 80 to 200 or 70 to 200 on the other, and you're able to, switch back and forth. When they're coming in under the basket, you can go horizontal and show a lot of action. Because what I learned in sports is I used to shoot things always tight, because I learned from the guys who shot cards, baseball cards, hockey cards, and I would shoot tight, but they become boring after a while. It's the action shots where you have like 3-4 players in there, and you can see their faces, and one guy's getting poked in the eye, and the other guy's slapping the other guy, and just the major action stuff. When you shoot wider under the basket, it kind of gives you that feel of something else is going on. One of the best shots from Sports Illustrated's photos of the year was the one on the battleship, where the basketball game was on the battleship. Awesome wide shot. You see all of the the towers in the battleship, and that's cool because it adds dimension. And sometimes tighter shots just don't have that dimension because they could be taken anywhere. I use that example of the Eiffel Tower all the time. If you do a portrait at the Eiffel Tower under it and you shoot a really tight headshot, you could have taken it anywhere in the world. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So my recommendation for under the basket is try to have two lenses, one shooting wide, one shooting tight. This is better. This is much better because the action's coming towards you. The guy's going up for probably a layup. It looks like he's going to get fouled. Is this the one that led to his free throws?
I believe so.
Yeah, because you can see that the guy's feet are moving. He's moving into his lane. He's not establishing his. My dad and brother are basketball refs, so I know, I do hockey and baseball, but you can see the guy's not establishing his position, the defender, and he's probably going to hit him in the arm and cause the foul. This is much better. Same thing on the cyan, but I'd like it to be a little warmer because there tends to be more warmth. Adding a little bit of yellow in there could warm it up because the stadiums are pretty warm. But this is a nice action shot again with the D2H.
Yes.
Yeah, this is much better. Obviously, sports is a matter of where you capture it because obviously if it was the ball was in front of his face, it wouldn't be as good, and that you don't have control over that. But you captured the nice moment here. Are you motor driving through some of this stuff or?
Not necessarily motor driving. I mean, I will do bursts of like 2 or 3 images, but I don't hold it down like some of those people.
Good. Yeah, quick bursts are good. This is good because you see how the guy in the background's running towards. I love in sports when there's the out of focus things drawing you into the subject. And a lot of times it's the foreground. So if you have a defender and you get like his back shoulder, part of his shoulder on the left-hand side of the frame in horizontal, and the guy's breaking through the lane, going up for a layup, you've got an out of focus guy on the left, you got the guy in the air going up for the layup, and that creates dimension. It's like drawing you into the image. It's taking a 2D image and making it 3D. I love that in sports.
Yep.
This is a nice shot. Nice job on that. Volleyball. You know why I love volleyball?
Why is that?
I love girls volleyball. I mean, what are they wearing?
Yeah, exactly.
And these are the girls you want to make friends with. Because I love volleyball. Volleyball is one of the hardest sports to photograph.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? It's one of the hardest sports to photograph when shooting tight also because it's just they move so much. So this is, here's some things you could focus on with this. They go in for those digs along the ground. If you're shooting with that 120 to 300, you're sitting at a baseline behind the service line on the one end, and you get down on a low angle. Get really low to the floor and shoot under the net and try to find when the digs are going to happen, or get the feet moving low, or get that hand sliding across the floor where the ball hits and they dig that out, with just the one hand. And that could be cool. I mean, this is a good shot. This is nice. I mean, obviously the D2H is limiting in terms of the grain, but we're not even going to worry about that because this is all learning. I mean, you're getting 4 years of on-the-job training shooting at college, right? Do they pay you at all or give you anything?
Yeah, it's paid.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's even better. But you're still getting paid on-the-job training. You can turn these into even more paying jobs for the school. Like, I'd go to the dean and be like, hey, dean, can I spend the day with you capturing behind-the-scenes images? I mean, that's what it's all about. That's going to give you an inside look at how the school runs. I know it's not sports, but it becomes editorial for the newspaper. Just pitch the idea to your editor and be like, listen, I want to branch out into telling more of the story. Can we do an assignment where my job is to, tag along with the water boy?
Yeah.
Is that something that you've thought about or they do?
We do things like that. I was actually chosen to be the photo editor for 2012, so I'm looking for new ideas on things we can do that are outside the box.
That's awesome. And what gets me for sports, people in this day and age want to know the behind-the-scenes stories. What's going on? What is behind all this? So if you walk around with a trainer, the athletic director, the water boy, the towel person, the person that runs out on the field in between, during timeouts and squirts water in the mouth, if you could tag along with that player or that person and tell their story, I think you'll have more interest. Sure, send the freshmen out to go shoot the sports action, but do the behind-the-scenes stories. Like that, where you've got that subject and you tell their story, and then you do an interview with them, and then you do a video with them. Is this stuff for print or is it all for online these days?
Print's our main focus, and we're just starting to get to online.
Yeah, man. For online, you want people watching these videos. You want people, being more interested, like a TV show. Get out there and interview them, and then do a portrait of them, and then follow them around the field, and then. I hope I'm not just getting too off base. Is this good, just throwing the stuff out?
This is great.
All right. So, yeah, I wouldn't just I wouldn't just focus on, I mean, the paper part's cool, but here's what I would do. If your main focus is the paper, use the paper as a way to get people to go somewhere onto your website. It's exactly what I use YouTube for. I use YouTube to put my videos because a lot of people are there, but then I use it to get people back to my website. Just like I use Facebook to put out information, but you get just a little bit of information on Facebook, and then you get more information when you get to my homepage, my website. So use the newspaper and be like, yeah, inside story for more behind the scenes looks, go to, follow this link. And make it simple for them to get to the link. Make everything easy. So, start telling the story in the paper and then forward them onto the website. Because not only, I don't know if you get money on the website, if there's advertising dollars or whatnot, or how that all works. But yeah, get people back to interact. And the more you interact with your readers, the more they're going to come back and read. So yeah, I'd follow every sport around. I mean, I just do the behind the scenes look from the training room to stretching before games to talking to the girls, doing their portraits, everything like that. I mean, this is a nice piece of action here. This girl didn't get up high enough, I think, to right? She kind of jumped late or something, or too early. You can tell. And another thing is knowing the sport that you're shooting. Athletes know sports, and you can get a feel for it. Like I did play. Volleyball was fun in gym class. I used to love playing. I wasn't tall enough, so I didn't exactly ever get to do anything good, but yeah, this is a good peak action shot, but you can tell that you want to get those 3 or 4 players going up for the block. Oh, I just raised my arms. You can't really tell, but they're going up for the block, right? So those are the action shots. And then look for under the net for those digs. And we'll keep moving because I stayed really long on the shot. Is this cropped or is this shot tight?
I believe it was cropped, but it wasn't out too much farther than that.
Did you have his whole foot in before?
I don't believe so.
All right, yeah, I mean, this is 70 to 200 again?
Yep.
So hard to shoot with the 70 to 200 in close because the action just fills up so much.
Yeah.
Tight shots are nice if you can do it. I would spend part of the, break the quarters down. You've got 4 quarters. Spend one of the quarters focusing in on doing shots with the 17 to 50 under the net, right?
Okay.
Then spend another quarter shooting with the 80 to 200. Then even spend another quarter shooting with the 120 to 300, where you're getting the action coming up the floor with the 300. And then spend the other quarter just picking up the shots that you definitely need. So, I wouldn't be switching around too often. Do you have 2 bodies or just one?
I do have 2 bodies.
Yeah, so definitely then take part of the quarter, take one half and focus on doing this lens more than the other lens. That's a cool thing for sports because try those different lenses and focus in on trying different things throughout the game. You want to get some under the basket action with, say, 4 players in it. Then you want to get some of the players coming up the court. Here's another thing you could do. Focus in on the refs. Do something with the refs. Talk to the refs. Talk to the athletic director and ask if you can get into the refs' locker room before a game and talk to them and be like, listen, is it okay if we do some of these photos or I follow you around and get your story? Because that's even showing you something else behind the scenes. And Purdue, do they have a hockey team?
No, we don't.
Darn it. Well, you've got enough sports to follow. But yeah, talk about that. Try to find the angle for the refs. The officials that do the games. That's good stuff too.
Okay.
I'm not feeling this shot as much. This is probably after he got a basket or got fouled and he's yelling, correct? And he just chest bumped somebody probably.
I think so.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like he's like, yeah, I'm so awesome. This shot doesn't really do much because it doesn't give me the context of what's going on.
Okay.
In terms of processing, a little more contrast, but I know that the D2H is limiting in what it can give you. It's just, you get that feel that it's not giving you too much. I mean, you got emotion here, but what's the emotional for? What's going on in the image? You know what I mean? It's just an image, again, of a guy going, yeah, and it could be taken anywhere.
Okay.
So, it's good to have these tight shots, but as a part of the main story, let's see what those wider ones look. And if he's got his, the guy that he just chest bumped and they're talking or they're smiling, more people in sports. I like to see images in sports where there's more people in it. The more people, the more emotion that there seems to be.
Okay.
Wrestling, weird sport.
Yeah.
Very weird. It takes a lot of skill. Don't get me wrong, this is a tough sport. I have no problem with it, but it is a tough sport. You've got the ref laying here on the left-hand side. I can see that.
Yep.
It's a nice tight shot. The colors are throwing me off. I know that usually the lights in these gymnasiums are terrible. That may help. You may want to throw in the black and white for that. But this is good tight action. But what are they looking at?
I believe he's looking at, I don't know what it's called, the scoreboard time or whatever it is.
Oh, to see what's left, to see if he needs to break out and all this stuff. Yeah, I love the low angle. You're laying on the mat here, right? Or is the mat set up higher?
It was on the floor. I was sitting on the floor.
All right, that's good. I mean, that's good. Wrestling's a tough one to shoot. The wider you shoot, it looks boring. It looks, too amateurish. When you shoot tight like this, sometimes you don't get a lot of the action that's going on. But what's cool with this, again, focus in on that ref. Get the ref in there. Shoot over the ref's shoulder. I know you don't know where the ref's going to be because they're moving around and sliding across the floor. But if the ref gets down low and they're sliding around the floor and you shoot over their shoulder and shoot at 2.8 and get the subjects in focus and you use the referee that's out of focus to draw you in, that's going to be a cool shot because it adds dimension. When images are just flat, straight on, they kind of don't do too much. But when you have an out of focus, the official out of focus and you're drawing into the guys, then that's even cooler. I would say focus in on muscles and hands and movements, really tight shots of certain things. Okay. And then obviously, what I like to do is I go wide, I go medium, I go tight. I cover every angle that I can. But yeah, look for that type of stuff. Turn around to the bench where the ref is screaming. Not the ref. The coaches are yelling and everybody's watching intently. Focus down the bench, the row of the bench. You've got 4, 5, 6 of the athletes sitting there. Get one of them in focus. Shoot the middle guy in focus. Shoot the coach in focus. Turn around and see what's going on behind you. Get fans cheering. Look for the things behind the scenes. One of the best things that a teacher in college did for me was he kicked my ass and he said, don't just shoot what's going on in front of you. Don't forget there's a whole nother ball game going on behind the scenes. And that changed my mentality, and that helped me with music, and it helped me with sports because it helped me focus in on things that other people weren't focusing in on. So yeah, don't be afraid to look away from the mat. Turn your back on it sometimes. If you get enough good action shots, look for the other things that are going on behind the scenes. It's all about telling that story. And then if you can get the school to buy you one of these contour helmet cams, throw that on the camera too during a match, because now you're going to be able to show people your first-person shooter point of view, and you can use it to teach. You know what I mean? Yeah. It may be something to say, look, come online and see the actual action as from my camera. That would be really a cool segment for you to do on the school's website, and people may get interested to see the action from your camera and from the video, and then popping in the photos as you move on.
Okay, absolutely.
I love all these ideas. What is this?
I have no idea. This is one of my better shots, I don't think. He's just resting. I thought it was an interesting opportunity. Is
he resting after a whistle, or is this during match play?
It's during a match, I believe. He's just like, I know I got this guy. I'm just going to hold back.
See, that's the one thing. I mean, it's so. It is very sexual in nature. All of the wrestling is sexual in nature. I mean, he's mounting the guy from the back. The other guy looks like he's sitting there going, "What the hell's going on?"
Yep.
This is what's weird about wrestling, and I'm not bad-mouthing wrestling in any way. You got to be really, really strong to be a wrestler. Extreme athletes, but it's just like there's not much I can say about the photo because it's just, this guy's ripped, by the way. He is massively strong, no body fat and all that stuff. But it's just like, what is going on here? Wrestling's hard to shoot. I shot it in school. It's hard to shoot.
Yeah, this is my first time shooting it. I've only shot it once, and I was like, I really don't know what type of shots to go for, so I just kind of do whatever.
Yeah, so the one criticism I can give you here, regardless of whatever the action is, watch cutting off the foot here, watch cutting off the hands, get a little wider so you get all the action in there. But yeah, it's just a weird shot.
Okay.
Tell me about this one.
This was with the 12300 again. This was pretty far down the field. I think I cropped it. I can't remember. But I forced a fumble, I believe, and I thought it was interesting.
All right. What are your settings here? Do you have any idea what you shot this at? I'll click on it. Hold on.
The day was overcast. I can't remember. Probably 1000 ISO.
Now you're using the D300S.
Yeah.
All right, so it's at 1/1000th of a second at 2.8. Manual settings? You setting your images manual? You setting your shutter speeds and everything manually?
Yep.
All right. This one's a little underexposed.
Okay.
The 1/1000th of a second is good. Outside, you can probably get away with the 3.2, shooting at 3.2 or 3.5 in your camera. Yep. It gives you a little more leeway with the focus, and you'll still blow the background out the same because it's so deep. You can tell that this lens is lacking a little bit in the quality as you crop it.
Yeah.
It's a good catch of action. Football was never one of my strong points either. Not saying either. Not saying it's not your strong point. I'm saying it was never one of my strong points when shooting sports. It's hard. Football is a hard sport to shoot because there's so much going on. You don't know where the ball is going to end up. But it's a good shot. I would just tighten it up later. You're shooting everything raw or not?
Yes.
All right. So you're shooting the sports raw. This I would pull back on the exposure, pump up my contrast, and there you go.
Okay.
Moving on, this is a better shot than the one prior. Even if it is cropped, it's probably cropped, right?
I think it's slightly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good crop. What my recommendation for you to do is, after the game, look at the crops that you do, and then say, how could I make this better next time? How could I try not to crop next time? I want to make my composition. I mean, it's really, cropping is a good tool to learn how to compose in the camera better, I think. Use your cropping that you're doing and say, all right, this is how I cropped it. Could I have shot it that way in the first place?
Okay.
All right. More contrast, a little bit underexposed still. So then pull back on the exposure, pump up that contrast, get the colors to pop, and the grass will pop. Overcast days are great for making things pop. So I think that this would benefit from bumping your exposure. But it's a really nice action, and I like how you've got one guy over here on the right, you've got the guy diving here, and you've got the guy with the ball and the ref in the background. You see how action shots mean a lot more when more people are in them?
Yeah,
absolutely. So that's good too. This is all right shot. He just got taken down. Is that an interception?
I cannot remember.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's cool action. It just, I think I'm clicking on this to look at it again to see if you're at 2.8. Yeah, if you're at 2.8 and it's 640 ISO, you can probably shoot at a higher ISO outside with this.
Okay.
Even if you went to 800 or 1000, the D300S should handle that. What that's going to do, you'll get a faster shutter speed, and I would say I'm a big fan of shooting at 2.8 in a lot of situations, but outside like this for the sports, I would go as high as f4 to give you more of that leeway so that more will be in focus, but the background being so deep will still be out of focus. That way, I can see that's focused on his helmet, but like the foot is out of focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This way, you'll be able to get more things in focus at 4, 3.2, or 3.5.
Okay.
Swimming, this is just waiting to launch.
Yeah.
Not the best action shot. Mm-hmm. Not much you can do there. If there's like a walkway, a catwalk, you could get in up top and shoot straight down. Or using that 300 millimeter lens, if you get up into the stands and you're shooting those top down as people come through water. Swimming's another hard sport to shoot because there's not much to do.
Yeah.
Is there an underwater place?
No.
Is there no? Because I know some schools have like a glass underneath where you can shoot through. It'd be interesting for practice if you could get an underwater camera or a housing, even if it's a point and shoot Nikon or something, and do some feature stories of the water polo. You have a water polo team?
I know we have a club. We have.
Even if you have a club, that is. Jesus, man, that sport is insane because you have to be so damn strong. You ever seen those guys take 5 water cooler jugs, the 5-gallon ones?
Yeah.
They fill them up. They have to hold them over their head while treading water to get stronger. Wow. The contour camera would be great for that because this is an underwater camera video. But I would see if you could get the school to get you, even if it's like a P7100 Nikon or a Canon G12 with an underwater housing, and you do features of these guys underwater, that's going to create a lot of interest for your paper. People are going to be like, wow, you're thinking different. You're doing the photo shoots underwater. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's something to think about. And now that you're the editor, you can go. Do you have a budget?
Yes, I do have a budget.
Wow. Can I ask what a budget looks like?
I'm not sure yet. We haven't had our initial meetings for this.
And what can you use the budget for?
Camera gear or anything we want to do. So
definitely call Allen's, by the way. He hooks up schools with discounts and stuff because they usually buy a lot. So if you want to call Allen and give him a list of what you're looking for and stuff, he does all the newspapers in Philly. They all call him for all their stuff, and he gets them set up. So yeah, if you're looking for gear or used gear that comes in, I would definitely give them a call to see what they've got.
For sure.
So yeah, not too keen on this photo. The processing and everything's fine. The everything like that is good. It's just there's not much action going on. It's good as a larger part of the photo story, but not too much action going on there. This is a really good shot. This is where shooting tighter with that 80 to 200 is going well. You see, you've got action going on in his face. You've got the guy going up for the block. You know, he's probably going to get bumped a little bit, but that's a good shot. That's a really good shot right there.
Okay.
Same thing here. Is this women's basketball?
Yep.
It is. Try not to shoot the backs, you know. It's tough, you know. I wouldn't waste the shots, you know what I mean? If you know they're coming in like this, you know what? Don't shoot it. Wait till they come around the other side of the basket, because you know it's not going to be a useful shot for you if you don't really have their face or you don't really have a lot of action going on.
Okay.
You know? So, yeah, I mean, that's a good thing with sports photography or photography in general. If you know that a shot isn't going to be used, there's really no reason to take it just to take it.
Okay.
All right? I mean, that brings us to the end of this. I mean, we went through this. This is cool. I like just rapping. I like just talking about this and throwing out ideas. But, dude, that's an awesome position that you have to be the photo editor. And in your second year?
It was my second semester as a freshman, so.
And how did it happen so quick? Are you showing more desire to do this than anybody else?
I believe so. I tried to do as many games as possible. I love to do it. I've improved a lot since I've been there, so.
That's awesome.
Yep.
No, that's definitely awesome. I want to add you to my list. I want to keep in touch with you more, as the season goes on, and see how we can see what's going on with your newspaper and follow through with that, and see if there's other things you can do.
Definitely.
Other ideas I can help you with.
Thanks.
All right. So nice job here. I know this is like a long-ass rapid-fire critique, but I hope people like it. I just like throwing as much information as possible to give as many people ideas and do that while we're doing the critique. All right, man. I assume you're home for the holidays?
Yep.
Where's home?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Everybody hates the Cowboys. Are you a Cowboys fan?
Yeah.
And I respect Jerry Jones, but it's time for him to just shut up, and they need to stop showing him on TV.
Definitely.
Let the players play. This isn't fantasy football.
Yeah.
You know? Actually, it's professional football. It's real fantasy football because he owns the team. Oh, well. All right, nice job. Did I lose you again? No.
I should still be there.
What was that?
I should still be here.
Yeah, you're there. So, yeah, nice job. If you could add if a D4 comes out and you can grab D3s to shoot with, even if you could grab D3s, not even D3Ss, that's going to take your shooting ability indoors and outdoors to a whole new level. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I actually may have the opportunity to pick up personally a D3S. Would you recommend that?
Right now, no.
No?
How much?
I was going to buy it new. So,
no.
I mean, I know the D4 is coming out pretty soon.
No. Don't do it now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're close. It's close. I can feel it in me bones. It's too close. You either pick one up used when the D4 comes out.
Okay.
Or if you can squeeze out a D4, you'll have it for a while. But, a D3S is an incredible camera. I love mine. When the D4 comes out, I may sell my D3S. We shall see.
Okay.
I will definitely put it out there because I'm a big... Here's my theory. I know this is getting away from what we're doing, but my theory on gear, keep lenses for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the newest body as soon as it comes. For me, as a professional, this is my mentality. When you get to this level where I'm at, I buy the newest body as soon as it comes out, and I sell the other body that just got replaced. Because in a year, that body that just got replaced went from being able to sell for probably could get about $4,000 for a D3S used when the new one comes out, because the new one's probably going to be like $5,800 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I will probably be able to sell my D3S for $4,000. All right. If I put that $4,000 towards the new camera, it cost me now maybe $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 to get that newest camera. But if I wait 2 years, that D3S lost all its value, and that's when like a D800 becomes better than a D3S and all that stuff. So my mentality is I dump the body as soon as it comes out and try to reinvest the money back into that, so it costs me less money moving forward. I'm not dumping $5,000 on a new camera because my old camera is a total waste and only worth $1,000.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good luck. Stay in touch. Definitely email me often. I just want to keep seeing your stuff as you go on. I like following the progression. I know I've done this with other photographers. Whether we do it on air or don't do it on air, I still want to follow what you're doing and just help you out.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. All right, guys. That is a rapid-fire critique. AdoramaPix, thank you guys very much for helping us with these things. And Brandon, right? Brandon?
Yep.
You keep it real. Have fun at college and shoot as many of these. Just shoot a lot. That's what you're doing. It's great. You have great access. And even if you're on the paper, does that mean you're just doing sports, or are you doing all the stuff?
Everything.
You get concerts coming to town?
Yeah, we do.
Dude, shoot that stuff. Shoot plays. Hit on the girls. Do all that stuff.
All right.
All right? Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.